Hey guys, here with Team Shadowriders. This is Vinny, and he's going to be deck profiling his ABC deck. So let's get started.
How you guys doing tonight? All right, staple, run 3 hanger, self-explanatory. 3 terraforming, want to see it as soon as possible. I run 2 twin twisters because I just like back row. I also like filling up my graveyard. I run 1 instant fusion, helps you recover and get over a lot of problems. Speaking of problems, that's a solver right there. Great to destroy your opponent's field, especially if there are cards that cannot be targeted by card effects, which makes your buster irrelevant in his effect. Speaking of buster, always good to revive him. If I were to make a buster, have ABC banish and no other pieces in the graveyard, and they were to kaiju me, it's a good way to get it back. Also a good push for game. Pushes for game, limited removal, one of my spicy techs. What's better than when you have a piece on the field, your opponent goes to run into it, it's like, you know what, let's boost them up to 24, 3k, and 38. If I'm going to tag out for Buster, and I sense you have a Solemn Strike and or a warning for when I would summon him or an Xyz monster, why not just push for all the pieces and I can banish them during end phase. Also helps me get over any Vanity's Fiends that are annoying. Other tech, Photon Lead. I run it as A, the push for game, B, helps me get a brick hands. In example, if I have an A and B in hand, no gadget, no photon, nothing. Summon A, effect, special B, overlay, get through my hand. If it's kind of bricky, make a Tsukiyomi, draw 2. It helps in various situations. It's also an easy discard outlet if you already established your field. Trap lineup. 1 warning and a brigade of strikes. You want to see it early, as often as possible. You can stop your opponent with that. You save any banishing effects from your buster. For the spice, we got a slice.
So why do you run this card? A lot of people were asking about locals about this, like why you were running 1-dimensional slice.
Well, there are situations where I would tag out. My opponent may have a response to destroy monsters. It's just good to have an easy banish on the generic effect to special to 3 A, B, and C's to get me an equip and a free banish. It's also great if I have a Diamond Direwolf on board I'm about to make, and I suspect my opponent has a Solemn or something else in his backfield to protect. You can activate this to turn it set if you Xyz summon. So if I set this after making 2 monsters on board, like a gadget and an A, overlay for Diamond Dire, most people won't strike the Diamond Dire Wolf on the summon, they'll wait for the effect, because if I'm going to blow something up that's irrelevant, they'll let it go through without paying the life points and save for something else. So what I'll do is I'll summon, change the summon and banish, then I'll attack, and then I'll use the effect to destroy something. If they want to save the other target, they'll pay 15, taking a total of 35 that turn, just for a Diamond Dire Wolf. My favorite spice, Ferret Flames.
So a lot of people were wondering, you are now called the Ferret Flame Killer.
Absolutely.
So why do you run this card?
Well, in ABCs, they swarm the field quite frequently. If I were to have pieces in graveyard and you, let's say, tributed over my buster, you go to push for game and I'm at, as an example, 1,500 life points. If you have 5 monsters on field and all of them are 15 or above, and I activate the effect, you shuffle everything on your field until the total attack are equal or less than my life points. So in that scenario, you lost your whole field and I'm re-establishing my board next turn. So it definitely has saved me a few occasions, especially when you pay so much life points for the Solemns and the instant fusion. Sometimes you want to crash to get certain effects and set things off, so it helps out.
Alright, so what's your monster lineup?
Monsters. Standard 3A,
3B, 3C.
3B, 3C, Alphabet Soup. Now, I run 3 gold and 3 silver gadgets.
So a lot of people, when they were building ABCs, a lot of people played this at 2, so why are you playing it at 3? Does it clog for you at all?
No, for myself it hasn't clogged very much. It's just, I want to establish my board as quickly and frequently as possible, even after it does get broken. So by having 3, it's just fantastic to set up your opening board. You make the Tsukiyomi play very easily with the buster, and you're good to go. It's also a good discard outlet if you draw into it when you don't need it anymore, but I've needed them quite often. I run 2 Thrasher. I believe 3 is way too heavy. If you draw into him after you have cards on board and you want to make an Xyz, that could have been reserved for something else, such as another, let's say, gold gadget, and people who run Rota, that could be a silver.
Yeah.
It just helps out that way for me. I run 2 Maxi.
Your standard.
Absolutely.
Good hand trap.
I run 1 Kaiju because I do not like any issues.
Outs to problems.
Outs to a lot of problems. Other Spice. Torque Tune Gear.
Yeah, so a lot of people saw that this came out in the new set, but they weren't sure about like playing this. So why do you play this?
I play it for a turn 2 Trish and Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend play that I can make to push for an OTK, as well as an out to Vanity's Fiend. If I normal summon an A off of a Union Hanger, I equip it, it becomes a 24 beater, and I can crash right into it and make my plays afterwards.
Cool. So let's get into this extra deck.
Alright. Unconventional. I run 2 Tsukiyomis.
So a lot of people are wondering why you're running this at 2, because you can recycle back with Daigusto Emerald, so why play 2?
Yes, I like to save my Daigusto Emeralds for my Diamond Dire Wolves, my ABC Busted Dragon, sometimes my Lightning. I don't necessarily need to recycle Tsukiyomi as much in that regard. I like running 2 because I do run a plethora of rank level 4 light monsters being all my gadgets. It's good if they were to strike the first one and think it's out of the way and don't have to worry about it anymore for me to recycle, which they would then use it on the Emerald. I can easily make a second one helping me out in mid and or late game to push to get to my tech cards if I haven't seen them earlier to help me win the game. I currently run 1 Diamond Dire Wolf. I had it at 2, but I decided to drop it to 1.
Yeah.
Run a Utopia,
Just a standard Utopia.
my Clutch Prime, and a Lightning.
Yep.
Help me
Just
win a few games. Especially with Ferret Flame, drop me to 10 life points. I'll shuffle everything else back into your deck on summon.
Yeah.
I usually wait till battle phase. Standard,
Yeah.
Emerald, Castell, Gigant.
Yep. Standard lineup.
My 2 synchros that I run, Archfiend and Trish.
So I saw you playtesting with this earlier today. How did you like this in your deck?
Oh, I loved it. I was at the point in time up until today running a Cowboy, which does 800 if you do play it. But with Scarlight, the combo that I have after attacking with all my monsters does an additional 2k. So if I don't defeat you just by straight up attacking your monsters that are on the field, if there are any left at that point, I'm just going to burn you for game.
Yep.
1 Norden,
Yep.
great recovery plays,
Instant
especially
fusion
for
target.
Yeah, absolutely. Lightning is real. And I run 3 Busters.
And your standard 3
Absolutely.
monsters. Okay, so what are you running in your side deck?
Side deck currently, I'm running double system downs because I do not like any mirror matches.
Yeah, mirror match sucks with this deck. Okay.
I run 2 anti-spell fragrance, slow my opponent down, and absolutely just destroy pendulum decks.
Okay.
I figure I shuffle and cycle through my deck enough that I'll see it often.
Yeah.
2 Flying Sea.
Just.
I don't like Xyz. Currently, waiting in the mail is my 3rd copy of Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries.
So a lot of people are playing this at 2 in their side deck. Are you playing it? Why are you playing it at 3 right now?
I want to see it as soon as possible. The way that my deck plays, I usually get to my Tsukiyomi first turn. I can ditch, shuffle my deck real quick, draw it up, see whatever I get. It's good to stop any decks early. For the targets, 1 Blue Eyed Spirit, 1 Ultimate Zulkin. Great to stop any synchro-based deck early. The others that are currently in the mail, I have a Master Hero Darklaw because heroes are only getting better. 1 Boxia, stop the Metal Foe Yang Zings early. 1 Full Metal Foe's Alcahest. I don't like them stealing my stuff.
Yeah.
And 1 Totally Awesome because that card is just ridiculous.
Yeah. I hear Totally Awesome is causing a lot of problems for like ABC decks.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah. Any suggestions for this deck?
The only thing that I personally would change is you could take out the Photon lead to put in a Dimensional Barrier, which I have not yet tried, but I'm looking to in the near future. But I do like my build currently, and I'm going to keep it like that. That's it.
Well, this is Vinny from Team Shadowriders, and this is Captain signing out.
Have a good night.